This video is brought to you from the folks at Emotiva. Maybe it's time to rethink high-end. Hi, Andrew Gash here with Audioholics. Now, I've been listening to and reviewing speakers like these KEF X300As for quite some time. In fact, a lot of bookshelf speakers, as well as many powered monitors, come across my desk, literally. Okay, well, not literally. I mean, they're more like next to my desk on stands. The point is, I know what I like. I love solid bass, but it doesn't have to sound like a subwoofer is in the room. It just has to be punchy, you know what I mean? As for highs, what you're listening for is clarity without that brittleness that can come from a tweeter or crossover that's not designed well. Fortunately, the KEF X300As don't suffer from any of that. The high frequencies have tons of detail. That just leaves the mids. You know, the stuff in the middle that most speakers just presume will come from somewhere? No. Mids are important, and I loved the way the UniQ driver array pulled this off. I'll get specific in my listening tests, but let me jump into why I'm impressed with how these speakers are made. Now, for one, the X300A powered monitors use two Class AB amplifiers in each speaker. A 50-watt amp drives the woofer and handles the low and mid frequencies, and a 20-watt amp powers the 1-inch vented aluminum dome tweeter. It's brilliant and really effective. Each speaker actually has a high-end toroidal transformer, and the other really unusual thing is that each speaker houses its own two-way or twin amplifiers. You can tell them in business too, because each has a large heatsink built right into the back of it. The speakers are 11 inches tall and nearly as deep. They also weigh over 16 pounds each. There's no speaker cable connecting the two either. It's actually a USB cable. The onboard DACs, which are capable of 96 kilohertz, 24-bit decoding, take care of the conversion right at the point of output. And there's no noise. They're completely quiet when they're not on. The KEF X300A speakers are very attractive. Now, they have a black baffle with the UniQ driver array mounted flush to the face. There's no grill for these speakers, and honestly, that's because they don't need it. There shouldn't be. They look awesome as is. The veneer of the cabinet has this brushed aluminum look, and the edges are nicely rounded in a continuous wrap. The rear facing port is flared, and the hefty speaker seems very well made. Also, in the left speaker is a balance switch that goes between stand and desk mode. It essentially rolls off the low end just a bit. The first thing I listened to on these speakers was Steely Dan. Hey 19 is one of my favorite tracks, and that's where I heard that really tight bass and clear highs. I kept turning it up and up and up and up and up, and no distortion. These speakers are awesome. They just keep sounding better and better the louder you play them. Now, I don't recommend 95 plus dB for a long time in close range, but whatever. Not going to hurt you in the long run, sorry. Anyway, I also brought up some Toby Mac. I really liked how on it sounded, but I also realized at this point that these speakers don't have far-reaching bass. They just don't. But I do think that that's what makes them work. You see, speakers that tend to reach down lower than they really should often bottom out, or the mids and highs just get trashed, right? The KEFs don't do this. They're well balanced and they sound great, even when they're maxed out. So if you want more bass, get a sub. The only difficulty you'll have is that there's no parallel analog output on the X300As. So you'll need to have an external DAC to split the analog output or pull a parallel feed for the sub. Not a deal breaker, but just something to consider. In case you can't tell by now, I do love these speakers. They're $800 a pair, but worth every penny of it if your focus is on mid-range, high-frequency detail, natural sounding vocals, and the ability to drive them as loud as you want without the fear of distortion. If you're a bass head, then you're going to either want to look somewhere else or figure out a way to add a subwoofer into this mix. Our question for the video is this: do you want a subwoofer in your office or at your desk? Do you need a subwoofer there? And would you sacrifice clarity or output for bass response? Actually, come to think of it, that's 3 questions. Pick whichever one you want and let us know. Or pick all 3 and you'll get a special prize. And subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're out there. We can bring you more great videos. And of course, Facebook, like us, because it makes us feel good. And you'll hear about all the cool things we're doing. Facebook.com/Audioholics.